every day. Yes, it is. As Jay-Z once said, I got 99 problems, but a bitch ain't one. Well, WWE's got 99 problems, but the 24/7 title ain't one. Alright, but that might be a little bit of a lie. WWE's got way more than 99 problems. But the point is, I told you guys, sit back, relax, take a deep breath, and trust the Amplified Man after Monday night, when there was all this skepticism about if this 24/7 rule and title was going to be fun, entertaining, or succeed at all. And I said, if you give it a chance, it will. Because it is fun. It is entertaining. It is a jobber title for the most part. It is getting people out of catering. The belt doesn't need to be the prettiest belt or have the prettiest name. All of your concerns. The belt looks funky. It looks ugly. I don't like the colors. I don't like the design. I don't like the name of it. This coming from a company that has their heavyweight championship known as the Universal, by the way. You don't like 24/7, but their head belt is called the Universal title. Please, once you fix that, then come talk to me about the 24/7 title. But then you don't like the design of it. When again, that same Universal title looks like a batch of strawberries exploded. The exploding strawberry strap is what I call that. You fix that, then come talk to me about a 24/7 title that, again, is not supposed to be taken seriously. It's about bragging rights within that locker room for the boys. That's what made it fun in the Attitude Era, not the hardcore concept. That was another concern. It's not hardcore anymore, BC, so in this era, it's not going to work. No, you obviously weren't around back then, or you didn't do your research. I was around, and I do my research, so I got you covered. The hardcore aspect meant nothing. It was the fact that it was defended 24/7. Anybody at any time could show up, pop up, and try to take you out. That's fun. That'll survive in any era. So all your concerns, and I was seeing these non-stop, and it was like, do you take the, relax, let it develop. We've become so cynical or so jaded or so miserable with the product today that we refuse to even give anything a chance. Even when they actually do something right, we'll find the negativity in it. The negative aspects. And don't get me started on some people in the community. Their shtick is to be negative. They know that that's what the viewers are tuning in for. They want to see them and hear them hoot and holler, scream, yell, be negative. Because that's their payday. You can always count on the Amplified Man to give it to you straight down the middle. I'm the only one in this community, trust me. There's half in this community that just praise WWE and all they do, and they're hardly ever negative because they want to be on their good side. Maybe they want employment one day. Then there's the other side that are just overly negative because they know that's their fan base. So they're never going to truly call it down the middle. They'll claim they're telling you the truth. They'll claim they're the only ones that are going to drop the facts and have the balls to tell you something. But no, it's the Amplified Man that'll really give you the truth. I'm the only one that gives you the positive with the negative. Time after time. Because I don't have to appease any audience. I'm not here for a payday. This isn't my fucking job. When you can be as free as fucking me and do whatever I want on this platform, brah, that's going to come out as straight facts, truth. That's real fucking balls. When you can tell it like it is and not give a fuck about the repercussions. WWE's got all those problems I aforementioned, the 99 problems, and then some. Major problems like 50-50 booking and not creating superstars, especially larger than life. No feuds and storylines that we care about. Let's start with those main things before we get all pissed off about the one entertaining aspect in the last couple of shows known as the 24/7 title. And I told you guys it was going to be entertaining. You just got to give it a chance. And it's so cool to see all that skepticism from Monday night. And then after last night's Smackdown, you go to social media and there was so much more people on board with it. So many more people talking about how funny R-Truth was. So many people talking about Drake Maverick and how funny he was. He printed up signs saying, have you seen this guy? And it's a picture of R-Truth. Please contact Drake Maverick. The B team trying to fight each other for the bragging rights to beat R-Truth and get that title. And people are like, it's a jobber title. It means nothing. It's making the business a joke. Please, if it gets them out of catering and gives them a personality and an identity and it's actually pretty fun, I'm all for it. How can you not be? You complain that they're in catering and then you complain when they're actually getting some fun shit. Is it that the B team isn't tag team strap holders? But when they were, everybody bitched and complained that they weren't doing it justice. So which is it? You want to see the B team in the top spot, but when they are, you claim they're not being booked properly or they're not doing it justice, so then they're back in catering, but then you complain because they're in catering. Which is it? So now they're doing something fun, and you still bitch. Drake Maverick's with the AOP, you don't like it, he's pissing his pants, you don't like it, he's the head of 205 Live, you don't like it, now he's doing the 24/7 thing, you don't like it. What do you want him to do? Just sit in catering? No, because then you bitch about that too. R-Truth is a comedy act, so you bitch, but then he gets the US strap and you say it's a joke too, so you bitch. Then he's back in catering, so you bitch. This thing is fun. It's funny, it's entertaining. If you don't think so, first check your pulse, because you're just a miserable fuck with a stick shoved up your ass. Definitely not somebody I want to hang with outside of here. If you're ever in a fucking bar room with me, man, I'm checking the fuck out or I'm throwing you the fuck out. Because you're about as fun as a pile of bricks. Just the negativity of the miserable fucks out there that got so jaded that they continue to watch and they don't even want to see positive. They claim they do. Oh, I watch and I want to see it get better. But then when it does some good shit, you still want to be in that pit of misery. To the pit of misery! You know? Or maybe you're just strongly sucking that AEW dick so fucking much that you don't want to see WWE do anything good because you're so fucking miserable with it. You can't wait till AEW comes around. AEW could give you some mediocre shit and you'll still ride that dick till the fucking cows come home. Who knows? Maybe you're so far up AEW's ass that you refuse to even give WWE a chance anymore. Listen, I know WWE has rested on its laurels for the past several years. It should have been and could have been so much better, and it just wasn't even close. It was trash. It was garbage. I got you. But I'm not going to come in front of this camera on this platform and lie. When something is a good concept, when something is funny, when something was entertaining, you're going to have me talk about it. I liked what I saw Monday night. There was skepticism. After last night, more and more people came around and said, okay, that's pretty funny. That is entertaining. If it's only a few segments every fucking show, in total, it leads up to maybe 5 minutes at best. No harm, no foul. It gets people out of catering. It gets people in touch with their actual personality. Or at least a different aspect. How can you be against that? We don't need another title. I had some people come at me like they take this to a fucking level that is just mind-boggling. A title that is not supposed to be taken seriously. It's just about bragging rights for the boys in the locker room. That's how it's supposed to be perceived, and that's how it's coming across. The guys know in the locker room it's not actually prestigious, but it's like, shit, it's there. I want it. That's what me and my boys used to do back in the day, man. The title's there, we're gonna fucking try to beat each other for it. Nobody knows the title exists or we exist, but we're gonna fight each other for that, damn it, tooth and nail every single day, 24/7. If you guys saw my story in yesterday's video, I talk about me and the boys and how we used to defend that title every day. Because of what we saw in the Attitude Era with the 24/7 rule and title. It's supposed to be fun and just a bragging rights situation for the boys. Some people came at me like, we don't need another title. This is the biggest joke in the business. What are you... It's WWE, World Wrestling Entertainment. It has never been solely about the move for move, action for action wrestling in that ring. Never. Not in the 80s, not in the 90s, not in any of the 2000s. I know. I've been watching for 3 decades. For you to tell me WWE has never focused and pinpointed more on the entertainment aspect, you are dead wrong, or you're fooling yourself, or you're just an absolute complete idiot. Now all of a sudden, you want to see 5'7" dude take on 5'9" dude and have a flips and dives contest, and when it's over, let's put 2 more 5'8" dudes in there and let's do it all again. There's New Japan Pro Wrestling, there's ROH, AEW will be coming along. You can suck all of their cocks if you want to. But if you're not willing to give cool concepts or ideas a chance, move the fuck along. Call it down the middle or move the fuck along. I'm not going to deal with bullshit or liars or just complete idiots or miserable fucks. You got your opinion, that's fine. Don't be stupid. To say this isn't funny or entertaining or isn't a cool concept or something to breathe some life into these lifeless shows usually? Downright mind-boggling how stupid a huge part of this wrestling community can be. Thank goodness for the Amplified channel, and thank goodness for my subscribers that I so proudly call the Amplified unit, because we are the unit in this community that has the most fucking logic, common sense, and brain cells in our dome piece. We do call it down the middle. We can actually detect when something is actually cool or good and when something is absolute bullshit and trash. That's true honesty, when you can call it down the middle. I've seen everybody in this community, especially people with channels with larger audiences, and let me tell you, rarely if ever do they call it down the middle. And then they claim they're the ones with the balls. They're calling it down the middle. They're telling you the truth. And their mindless sheep come back to other channels like mine and regurgitate the bullshit. Trust me, there's channels that get their videos out basically when the show ends. And people will watch them first, and then they'll come to my channel and regurgitate exactly what they heard from schmucks on other channels. And I know because I'll get the same comment 5 or 6 times, like the same words. So obviously they've regurgitated bullshit like a mindless sheep that they are from somebody else in the community. The problem is, they got it from somebody less knowledgeable than the Amplified man. Epic fail every time. Those comments never see the light of day, and they get an embarrassing laugh from the Amplified man if I ever do come across them. Don't regurgitate bullshit from other people's channels. Use your dome piece, and if you really want knowledge, listen to the Amplified man's words in his videos, and then leave your comments. I love opinions, just be smart with them. We don't need another title. I don't like the look or the design, the colors. Is that really what we're talking about? The colors and the... Come on! We have an exploding strawberry title called a Universal title. We have tag team championships that look like crushed pennies and crushed dimes. And you're worried about a title that is not supposed to be taken seriously. It's the fun part of the show. And sadly, it's the only fun part of the shows. For the second day in a row, that is my spiel on the 24/7 title. But I'm in a much better mood about it today than yesterday, because so many people are now changing their tunes and saying, Amplified man, thank you. You were right. I gave it a chance, and that was pretty fucking good. R-Truth last night. Drake Maverick chasing after him. The B-Team fighting each other, man. Come on, brah. Carmella. Eventually, you know Carmella's going for that command. Intergender. I told you it was going to happen. I told you guys in yesterday's video. Back when the 24/7 rule and title was around back in the day. Tori Wilson held it. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. My bad. Terry Runnels held it. Trish Stratus held it. Molly Holly, one of the Godfather's hoes. So there was intergender wrestling. And a few people told me in yesterday's video, comment-wise, Oh, they'll never do it in the PG era, BC. There won't be intergender wrestling. Guys, we're already seeing the seeds planted. I see Carmella pinning R-Truth because it's just sitting in their lap. And I think a lot of females are going to hold this title, man. So it's so cool that a lot of people can swallow their pride and admit when they were wrong and say, hey, it's pretty fucking cool. I told you guys it would be. That's why I've been asking and begging, basically, WWE to bring this back. Because I know this is, even though it's a small part, it's a part in a 3-hour show, or 2 hours on SmackDown, that can add some life into it. It's not supposed to be taken serious. Nobody is saying they're main eventers or this is going to be main storylines. Nobody's saying that. It's just after every main storyline segment, we can cut back to the back and have some fun. It doesn't just have to be a stale, redundant interview every time they go to the back. We can have some fun, man. There's so much talent not being used. They're just sitting and catering anyway. Let's have some fun. Give them some personality, give them something to do, and in the process, we're entertained. Or maybe today, there's still some people out there just not entertained by this. They're not having fun. They got that stick shoved up their ass. They're a bundle of fun like a pile of bricks. I came here, I'm viewing this to see professional wrestling action. I would rather have professional wrestling action. What is this goose hunt chase? Why is this individual making flyers? This is stupid. This is a joke. I am so old that none of this is entertaining to me or fun. I should not be watching this, but I will continue to do so because I want to be a miserable fuck. As long as I can be a miserable fuck, I will continue to watch this. Please give me wrestling action. I would like to see some flips and dives and some glorified gymnastics now, please. Thank you. Sincerely, miserable fuck. Number 1. It's not going to be me, man. I hope that's not you. It's okay to have some fun. It's an entertainment show too, man. We love the pro wrestling. I never, ever lost sight of what WWF and WWE always was. It was about the full spectrum of entertainment. It's unlike anything we've ever seen. It's professional wrestling entertainment. Guys, if you find literally nothing on these shows that you like, then literally it's time to move on to something else. I'm not saying leave pro wrestling, right? I'm not one of those dipshits. If you don't like it, don't watch. I hate that shit. But if you literally don't like anything, there's never anything they do correctly in your eyes, then ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, these are organizations you might like, that you can easily access their shows. Even if you gotta go online, they're there, man. All the matches and TNA Impact is a little bit harder to find, but try to find them. Maybe that's better for you. I don't know what to tell you. But if you're that upset about this title and this new rule and these new segments, brah, stay in your lane, stay on your side of the fence. I don't want to fuck with that. This is some of the funnest shit we've been seeing in a long time. And it's long overdue, man. And I expect it to just get more fun. It's not always going to be a wild goose hunt chase with a bunch of superstars. They're going to get creative, we're hoping, right? I'll keep spewing some awesome ideas. And just like they took my idea, my ego's not so high that I'm saying it was solely me, but they heard people like me calling for that title to come back. And they finally did it. So people like me will continue to spew some good ideas, and maybe they'll follow through with those ideas. But I expect a lot of fun, entertaining things to come from this. And again, no harm, no foul. The main superstars, the main storylines, they're not going to be fucked with. You know why? They're non-existent anyway. There are no larger-than-life superstars. The titles are meaningless as it is. We don't need another title, man, yeah? Speak for yourself. Because the title that's a joke and not supposed to be taken seriously, which I fully admit, it's just for bragging rights for the boys in the locker room, that title means the most to me right now than any of them. That's the most fun title in the business right now. I love it. That's my opening monologue for Smackdown Live. Now I will get to the actual show, which Might surprise you. But it shouldn't surprise you because part of this show had the 24/7 title. So that brought a lot of entertainment. But whether it surprises you or not, my review on this as a whole, before I break it down, this was a solid show. And I really do think, I'm done talking about it for now. I mean, I'll run over it during the segments, obviously, but I really do think that 24/7 title, those segments really just brought some life back into the show. I really do. Without them, if you took them out, it might just be status quo, the show that they put on last night. But they added all those segments, and it just brought this new level of interest. That mixed in with, obviously, Dolph, and you know what? Let's just break it down right from the top. We had a New Day promo. They started off bringing back the return of Big E. They made it comedic at first. They brought out a WWE producer dressed as Big E, made a joke, didn't really land with the audience or me at home. I don't know about you guys. Finally, they bring out the real Big E. They go to the ring. They cut their comedy act. They're cut off by Kevin Owens at the rampway, and then eventually Sami Zayn. New Day hurts the feelings of Kevin Owens. He gives Sami Zayn his microphone, and he goes to the back. Sami Zayn goes on. He disses the crowd a little bit. He hits Kofi Kingston hard a few times because they're setting up a match later in the night between Sami Zayn and Kofi Kingston. That's basically all this was, but I love Sami Zayn with a microphone. He just, this character that he has, even though he's pretty much echoing the sentiments of Vince McMahon, it lands for him, man. It serves him well, serves him justice, and I think he's running with it. I just wish they had him winning more matches already, because he's on a losing streak and he just got back. He's got this good gimmick, I feel. I'm going to critique the critiquers. I'm down with that. But if you're losing every match, are people really going to take you seriously? Well, that's rhetorical. No, they're not going to. So it set up a match for later in the night, but it didn't really do anything because that match later in the night saw Kofi Kingston defeating Sami Zayn. That's what I mean. You bring him back with a decent character. The guy's gold on the mic. Now more than ever, but then he's losing all the time. I don't like that shit, man. But that was the opening segment with the promo, New Day, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. And as I said, later in the night, Kofi Kingston took on Sami Zayn. Kofi defeated Sami Zayn, Trouble in Paradise. Paul Heyman distracted Kofi at the rampway after the match. This was to set up Dolph Ziggler, an attack from the returning Dolph Ziggler on Kofi. And let me tell you guys, Dolph Ziggler annihilated Kofi Kingston to the point where medical staff and the fucking EMTs, they all came down. They had to put him on a stretcher. They carried him to the back. Right when they got to the rampway, Kofi Kingston's like, no, man, I don't need this. I'm going to walk back. So he manned up and he managed to walk to the back. But for the longest time, he was on a stretcher. That's how badass Dolph Ziggler's return was as far as the beatdown. I loved it, man. Dolph Ziggler, normally I would say, yeah, okay, he's back. What's that going to mean? What's that going to do? If that's not going to set up anything, we're not going to care. But a couple segments after that beatdown on Kofi Kingston, he came back out, stood right up on the rampway at the entranceway, got on the mic, and he proceeded to captivate me for a good 3 to 5 minutes with his promo. And he talked about how what Kofi Kingston did in his meteoric rise to the top after 11 years, that should have been him. That should have been him in the gauntlet match. That should have been him in the Elimination Chamber. That should have been him at WrestleMania. It should have been me, he kept yelling out. And he looked like he was about to break down in tears. He was so emotional. It was so believable. There was a realism to it that captivated the Amplified Man. As I left on my Twitter, it blew me away. Great stuff. Had me hanging on those words. Instantly, with the severity of the attack on Kofi, and then 2 segments later with that dynamic promo that he cut, I am now instantly invested in seeing Kofi versus Dolph. It's going to be a good wrestling match because it's Kofi and Dolph. But on top of that, now you have some realism, some personal beef between the two. Add on top of that if you're a smart fan, you know that in real life, they've been really close for the past decade. So this means something. This has meaning. I don't care if they do it in Saudi Arabia, if they do it next month, or if they do it next Wednesday at the local bingo hall, if they do it 2 months from now at a live event. I'm gonna want to see this. I'll dig it up online. I'll pay my money to go see it live. I'll check it out on the network. But I want to see this come to fruition already, and they just set this up in one night. Why? Because they got creative. They let this guy go out on that microphone and bust that shit out. They gave us something compelling. There's a concept. You know, you look at what Dolph did last night with the attack on Kofi. A couple of segments later, you see his promo. You add in those 24/7. So you had the severity. You had the realism. You had the get down to business type shit with Dolph and Kofi. You had the fun, entertaining shit with the 24/7 title. You mix all that together, and in a 2-hour show, we have things to talk about. We have some pretty cool shit. I love that. Ali, he defeats Andrade in what was a decent match. I feel these two could have done better with a talent like Ali, with a talent like Andrade. But that was a decent match. They had Ali defeat Andrade clean, straight out. You know, it sucks because I want to see Andrade do better and do more because he deserves such. I think he's a total package. Yes, he can't go on the mic, but that's what he has his mouthpiece Zelina Vega for. She's the mouthpiece. Just like Brock isn't really great on the mic, not even good. He doesn't have to be. He's got a mouthpiece in Paul Heyman. Well, Zelina Vega is that for Andrade. We all know he can go in the ring. He's got the look, the presence. But they gave it to Ali. Maybe they're going to push Ali a little bit here. Who knows, man? But Ali and Andrade have a decent match. Pretty decent, right? Carmella, she took on Mandy Rose. If you know about their little Twitter beef they had earlier in the day, then you know that this had a little bit more meaning to it. First of all, they had that little beef at Money in the Bank. And Carmella wasn't too happy with Mandy Rose. And then online, they kind of traded jabs with each other. And Mandy Rose kind of hit Carmella a little low. And Carmella actually retaliated. She had to delete the tweet. She actually retaliated and said, maybe you should go back to NXT and work on being safe in the ring. Now, I don't know if Mandy complained or WWE found out and said, take that down. We can't have people perceiving our performers are unsafe in the ring. She immediately took that tweet down within the hour. So you know there's real beef between Carmella and Mandy Rose. They go into the ring, so there's a little added bonus interest in there. I never thought you'd be right. Usually there wouldn't be interest, Mandy Rose, Carmella, but if you knew about that real beef, you were kind of intrigued to see if they were going to trade some real shots in there. Didn't really get too far because Truth was out there with Carmella and the roster came out to find R-Truth, man. They chased Truth out of the ring. Truth had Carmella on his back. They both went through the crowd running for their lives. So that was fucking cool. There was one point where R-Truth was hiding from the roster backstage. Carmella helped him out by giving him a blonde wig. I left a funny tweet, man, just saying now that R-Truth is in a blonde wig, maybe Vince will push him. Because now he's a blonde. So that was also fucking fun. I love that, man. R-Truth just makes these segments gold. And the 24/7 segments ended in the parking lot where Carmella was trying to help R-Truth and they all kind of chased him out. And the B team, I think they got to him. The B team jumped R-Truth. They had him for the pin. I think it was Bo Dallas, but Curtis Axel was like, pulled him off. Like, what the fuck, man? I want it. So Bo Dallas and him start fighting a little bit. Finally, they realize, what are we doing? He's about to get up. So they go to attack him again. Somehow, I think Maverick came out and pushed somehow R-Truth was able to escape. Carmella helped him out. They start running through the parking lot. And unfortunately, that's all we saw of them. This is how good it was for me. I wanted to see more of it throughout the night. And the last 45 minutes or so of the show, that was it, man. R-Truth was able to escape. And I gotta admit, I was pulling for Truth, man. I called it the Great Escape, and I said, run, Truth, run. Because you kind of feel for him. He's like really running for his life, man. But I wanted to see even more. Like, that's how into this title I am. And I just love these segments. But all of our truth segments last night were phenomenal. And anybody, again, saying that this title is meaningless and it's not going to do anything for anyone. Dude, it's already doing wonders for our truth. Drake Maverick is a guy I never gave two shits about. But him printing out flyers to try to find our truth is hilarious. And the fact that in all of these chases, Drake Maverick is the last one he's trying to keep up, that's funny. This is a thing that in New York City, we see a lot of stars. I see a lot of wrestlers. I usually don't give them the time of day. We just keep walking by one another. But if I see like Drake Maverick, last week I'd be like, all right, well, I don't give a fuck. Now if I see Drake Maverick in the street, I'm going to like stop real quick and be like, dude, I love your work lately, dude. Keep it up, badass. Shake hands. Thanks, man. He'll say, we'll go on. But I want to at least acknowledge. I would have never said that about Drake Maverick last week. So that's what I mean about seeing new personality and new identities and giving them a chance. Even if what we perceive it to be a joke or it's embarrassing to wrestling, not so much. It's better than sitting and catering. Give them something to do and let's see if they shine with it, man. And if it's entertaining and fun, for people like me especially, man, who can be jaded at times with shit and frustrated with today's product, then you're doing something right. So I was left wanting more from that 24/7 title, man. But that was all those segments. And again, Carmella, Mandy Rose, I believe was a no contest because of the run-in from all the superstars trying to get to our truth. What else do we got and where do you want to go? Do you want to go maybe Becky and Bayley? So Becky and Bayley defeat Lacey and Charlotte. Now, I mean, in a weird way, Lacey and Charlotte actually look like they belong together, right? I don't know what it is. Maybe you guys do. Kidding, obviously. They look like they'd be an actual tag team. So why Vince McMahon is over there playing the, they're the same race? Let's put them together. Fucking Asuka and Kairi Sane, which have no business being together other than the fact that they're Asian. They should be on their own. But no, they're Asian. Let's put them together. What Vince should be doing is putting his little pride and joy, his golden child, Charlotte, in her tag team with Lacey Evans. Let Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, or whatever they're fucking called, let them be on their own as they should be. Let's put Charlotte and Lacey together, Vince. Come on. Or is it something you just do for, like, races, other races? Come on, man. Because they look like they belong together. But Becky and Bayley end up defeating Lacey and Charlotte. Bayley actually got the win. It was over Lacey, I believe. And then Becky and Bayley kind of celebrate afterwards. I left a tweet. It's my true feelings. I never was the biggest Becky Lynch fan. But the level of confidence that Becky Lynch is fucking with lately, I'm loving it. And obviously, I've told you guys on many videos, Bayley is hitting the most confident she's ever been lately. At the right time, too. They give her a Money in the Bank win Sunday, and then they give her the championship. So if there was ever a time to hit your strides and be the most confident, Bayley's hitting it at the right time. So it's really cool for both of them. I also left in that tweet that I do miss Sasha Banks. I'm not going to lie. I had to throw that in there. Closing out the show was the main event. This was Roman Reigns taking on Elias. This was a spear in a Roman Reigns victory over Elias. Why? I understand that is his other golden child. Vince's golden child, Roman Reigns. I understand. But why do you have to do that to a guy like Elias? He is losing all the time, and he has what it takes to be a larger-than-life superstar. I don't know if he does anymore. Might be ruined. But I just don't understand why he is just... why he's treated the way he is, man. He's got the look. He can go in the ring. He's got the gift to gab on the mic. He can get that heel heat. And he's just a glorified jobber. Shoot, I'd rather see him going for the 24/7 title now. It'll mean more to me. Rather than losing to Roman Reigns every show. I saw this at Money in the Bank. Why 2 nights later did I need to see Elias lose to the same guy again? And I don't care if this sounds like shade being thrown or not. Roman Reigns just does not do it for me. If he was ever in need for a rehaul on his character, it's now. I don't even care if it's like a heel turn anymore. Just do something with this guy. He is so boring to me. Roman Reigns is so fucking boring to me. I don't care if that hurts people's feelings, man. The time I hear his music, it's not even like frustration anymore. It's pure boredom. Look at the reaction he's getting too now. And it's not even like that. It's not even like the 50-50 loud reaction. No, or 70-30 as I call it. 70% fucking booze. It's not even like excitement anymore. I don't know if it ever was, but it just seems like I think we're just over it, man. You know, they dropped the ball when he should have turned heel so many times. And now I don't even care about him anymore. I really don't. And it's sad because he's going to be in so many main events going forward. And that's bringing the product down. So while you guys are fucking, while there's the naysayers out there about the 24/7 title, yeah, I'll be over here going, yeah, I'm stuck with Roman in my main event. So pick the lesser of two evils. Pick the hill you want to fucking battle on, because those are the real big issues that need to be addressed. Those are the ones that concern me. Roman Reigns being in all the main events, for what reason? He's not bringing in that type of reaction anymore. He's actually kind of stale and boring, if you ask me. Other than that main event, and by the way, afterwards, Shane McMahon jumped Roman Reigns. Roman was able to counter and look like the superhero. Drew McIntyre from behind did a Claymore kick that literally took Roman Reigns' head off his shoulders, man. I think it's still in aisle fucking 27 of section 101. I really do, man. That was a devastating Claymore kick. Fade the black, and that was Smackdown. I'm not interested in Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. I'm not. So that didn't really end the raid. I would have preferred, but if you take that whole main event segment out, this was actually a solid show. So, you know, they gave us Andrade and Ali. They gave us the Kofi and Zayn match, which even though it's upsetting to see Zayn lose, it's cool that they're giving Kofi Kingston these victories. And it's Kofi versus Zayn. Decent match, just like Ali and Andrade. Dolph Ziggler coming back in a way that we actually fucking were interested. We were captivated. We hung on his words. It was a badass beatdown on Kofi afterwards of that Zayn match. The 24/7 title segments. A lot of solid shit on this show, man. It was really good to see. Really good to see that. I hope they keep this going, man. I really do. We'll find out. Obviously, there'll be some impromptu videos in the week. And, of course, this weekend, the 18th BC's Amplified Pro Wrestling Podcast. So be on the lookout for all of it, guys. I'm going to personally go kick the rest of Wednesday's ass. And I'm hoping you guys do too. For now, the Amplified Man saying check you.